Coming up on this episode of Coordinated.
Well, Rachel, my first experience with AP was the first year I started. Our AP coordinator at the time went on maternity leave right before exams started, and I was the lucky one to take over. This was my first experience dealing with any type of academic testing. Remember, I came from community crisis counseling, and this was just another different type of crisis for me.
Greetings, AP coordinators. It's season 3 of Coordinated.
Also known as the most wonderful time of the year for anyone in education. Summer is finally here.
And to keep our faithful listeners engaged at an appropriate level, we have some lighter content to cover. Not as much conversation about policies and deadlines and AP registration and ordering.
So please relax. We coordinators, we have earned it. Kick back, grab your favorite summertime beverage, and enjoy the conversation.
Derek Cometa here.
Along with myself, Rachel McBride, welcome to the show for AP coordinators.
Welcome to Coordinated. AP coordinators, we are very excited about today's episode. We visit Willowbrook High School in Villa Park, Illinois, due west of Chicago, and it's there we find an exceptional school counselor and veteran AP coordinator, Cindy Zamora-Failla. And when we say veteran, we mean over a decade in the AP coordinator role, managing a very large and diverse AP program. Cindy holds a master's degree in both clinical psychology and school counseling. And prior to joining Willowbrook High School, she was a mental health crisis counselor. Oh, and that rumble you may hear in the background? That's her beloved Harley Davidson motorcycle warming up as she gets ready for a summertime ride in the sunshine. So, please relax. Imagine that sense of freedom and the wind blowing through your hair. It's time to hear from a pair of the best counselors and AP coordinators around. It's time for Rachel and Cindy.
Thank you for the great introduction, Derek. I am so excited to welcome a superstar AP coordinator to the show today. Cindy, welcome. It sounds like you are ready to start your summer, and a well-deserved one at that.
Thank you guys for having me. I am so honored and absolutely, I am so ready to get this summer started.
So I can't help but mention again that you are a school counselor and AP coordinator, and you ride a motorcycle. So we have more in common than I thought. I'm actually just relearning how to ride, so I could use some tips.
Oh, for sure, Rachel. We can chat about what tips you need, but the best thing I did was taking a motorcycle class. Prior to being married, I love adventure and danger. So I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. Why not? So I went out and bought myself a 1200 Sportster, a Harley Davidson. It's actually Diamond Ice. The name itself is so cool. Hey, I thought we were here, though, to talk about AP coordinating.
Yeah, but that is pretty cool. And I do digress. I do not want to waste any of your time when you could be out on that motorcycle. So, Cindy, as Derek mentioned, you are currently a school counselor and an AP coordinator at Willowbrook High School in Illinois. Tell us exactly where is your school located?
Our school is actually located in Villa Park, Illinois. It is a suburb just 18 miles west from downtown Chicago.
Ah, yes, right near the Windy City. Being a Clevelander, Chicago is pretty familiar to me, weather-wise, that is. So tell us a little bit more about your school specifically. We're pretty curious.
Our school size is about 2,000 students. This is home of Willie the Warrior. Willowbrook is considered one of the most diverse high schools in Illinois. It is a great place to work and attend. We offer so many opportunities for our students, from academics to sports to clubs, whatever they need, we're here for them.
That sounds amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you grew up in Chicago too?
Oh, yes. I was born and raised in Chicago until high school, when my parents decided that they wanted to move to the suburbs. I now live 7 miles from work, and I actually live in the town I went to high school, which is called Bensonville, and it is actually where I attended high school. I never thought I would live where I went to high school, but it's where my parents still live, and they have been a major help in helping me raise my family. Now that I have one child going into second grade and another into kindergarten, I see how I can become a little more involved in their schools and give back to the community.
Wow, I can certainly respect that, Cindy. And I believe you have an interesting educational journey to share with us as well. How did Willowbrook High School become home base for you?
Since I was young, I always knew I wanted to help people, so I attended college and earned my BA in psychology. I worked for a social service agency doing home-based developmental visits. I worked primarily with the Hispanic population because I speak Spanish and my parents are from Guatemala. When I was there, I felt like I needed to do more and make more of an impact. So I met with one of the therapists there and thought this is what I wanted to do. So there I went, off to grad school. I received my master's in clinical psychology. Then I did home-based crisis counseling for children and adolescents for our local health department. And I also worked for one of the local police departments doing counseling for the community. It was great. The work I did was primarily with the Hispanic population, which was awesome because I wanted to help people and language was a barrier for some of the parents. After 5 years of doing crisis counseling, I came home late one night, around 9 p.m., from one of my family sessions. I sat on my couch. I was exhausted. And I thought, man, I can't do this forever. How am I going to find a husband and have a family if I'm working crazy hours? Yes, a husband was a priority in my 30s.
I can imagine.
Because of my work, I had a lot of interactions with schools. And I remember one of the social workers saying, hey, why don't you come and work for our school? At that time, I said, no way. I love what I'm doing. Every day was something different, and you never knew what your next call was going to be. I guess there goes my love for adventure. But that was what I did. I went back to school and became a school counselor. And here I am now at Willowbrook. I've been here since 2007 and can't imagine doing anything else.
Sounds like that was a great decision, Cindy, because now you have a great career. Now you are married and you have 3 children. So it all worked out, right?
It sure did. 1 year after starting, I met my husband, Jason, and our 10-year anniversary is this month. And with 3 kids, Noah, Francesca, and Isabella.
That is fantastic. I am so happy to hear that. And on a more serious note, once again, I am completely impressed by your journey to Willowbrook. What selflessness and stamina you have to see that through. Pretty heroic, I'd say.
Oh, stop, Rachel. But as I tell my students, sometimes in life, we have to sacrifice to get where we want, but the journey is well worth it. I love what I do, and I do it because I can reach so many kids and their families this way.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly Suge, high school counselor and AP coordinator. As an AP coordinator, I know at times it can seem like we are all alone at our schools. It's not a great feeling. But like any good counselor, I do have a solution to offer. Consider attending a free online AP coordinator workshop this summer. I've personally attended these workshops and found them to be so valuable. Not only did I get the latest updates from the AP program, it was also great to collaborate with other coordinators and shake that feeling of being all alone. These workshops are perfect for both new and experienced AP coordinators. We learn about getting the school year started, setting up AP registration and ordering, enrolling students, and ordering exams. I especially enjoy watching the live demos. Plus, the best practices and interactive conversation always help to improve my efficiency and productivity. Who doesn't love that? The workshops are led by experienced AP coordinators who work in schools and districts just like us. They are hosted online over Zoom, 3 hours long, and free of charge. Last summer, a majority of the workshops filled to capacity. To give yourself the maximum amount of scheduling options, don't delay. Go to collegeboard.org/AP coordinator training to register right now. We'll put a link in the show notes of this episode as well. Don't miss out. The workshops are highly rated. In fact, one might even say they are good as gold. See you there.
Welcome back. Cindy, I'm hoping to pick your brain a little bit more, especially especially because you are such an experienced AP coordinator.
Yes, absolutely. Ask away.
All right, let's jump right in. Let's start with, how long have you been AP coordinator?
My first experience with AP was my first year on the job, but the full-time AP coordinator title became mine 11 years ago.
Wow, 11 years. That is a lot of experience. I'm sure you've seen many changes in that time, and specifically in these last 2 years.
For sure. Just in our program since I started, we would administer maybe a little over 400 exams, and now we give a little bit over 1,000 on a normal year, of course. Some of the changes I've liked have been how technology has assisted in making things a little easier. I love that I no longer need to keep my own personal spreadsheet to filter out students for different reasons. Now I can just log on and see who is taking what exam, who needs accommodations, and so on. I love that change in College Board. Also, let's talk about these language and music exams. It's so much nicer not to use our old tape recorders, although I tell you, I wasn't willing to give them up that fast. Also, for those veteran AP coordinators, I'm sure they would agree we don't miss those pre-administration sessions.
No, we do not miss those at all. You are correct. Those are all changes I love too. I'll admit I'm not familiar with the tape recorders, but I have heard of them. Now, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your specific AP program. What can you share with us?
Our AP program has been growing every year, and in a typical school year, we administer a little over 1,000 exams. We offer 24 AP courses. Students are not required to take the AP exams, but we offer them every opportunity to take it if they want to. Our school is awesome at this. Our students on free and reduced lunch are covered. They pay absolutely nothing. The last 2 years, we have also been able to offer a discount to our students. If money is a challenge for them to take the exam, we'll figure it out. We want to offer our students any opportunity to help them be successful.
Absolutely. Sounds like a pretty impressive program to me. And to grow so much in that time, well, I think your school is pretty lucky to have you, Cindy. And you've been AP coordinator there for 11 years. That alone is pretty remarkable. How did you get started? How did you assume the role? How did you become AP coordinator?
Well, Rachel, my first experience with AP was the first year I started. Our AP coordinator at the time went on maternity leave right before exams started, and I was the lucky one to take over. This was my first experience dealing with any type of academic testing. Remember, I came from community crisis counseling, and this was just another different type of crisis for me. I obviously survived my first experience, and I thought that would be the end of AP. But then 2 years later, like I am sure many of us, I was voluntold that I would be the new AP coordinator.
Oh, yes. I'm sure many of us can relate to that. Taking over, though, right before testing started, now that had to be a challenge. What other challenges have you encountered along the way?
I think the hardest one for me is during testing is juggling being a counselor. I'm running around during testing, and it's so hard not being available for my students when they need me. I also find it hard to accept help from others regarding testing. I just feel like I need to do it all, and it's all in my head what needs to be done. At least I think it is. And of course, there are times that I forget stuff.
I can certainly relate to that, especially during those crazy AP testing weeks. And it is so hard to balance the role of counselor and coordinator. Now, for an easier question, what do you like most about being an AP coordinator?
I think it's the opportunity to interact with students that are not on my caseload and see the challenging courses that they're taking.
And Cindy, we heard about some of the challenges and some of the victories. Now we want to laugh a little. I'd imagine in your 11 years as coordinators, you've had a few laughable moments, at least now, when you're looking back.
Oh, for sure. I look back at my first couple of years when there were a lot of tears, and I would joke and rate my day on if I cried or not. I am so glad those crying days are over. Now I have just replaced them with humor. My principal and assistant principal also have pointed out that they know how AP testing is going by how my hair looks. If it's up in a mess, they know it's been a rough AP day.
I can imagine. That is a great story. Cindy, this has been so great. I love talking to a coordinator with so much experience who has accomplished so much. And I'll say it again, your school is so lucky to have you. Any words of advice for those who may be doing this for the first time in the fall?
Absolutely, Rachel. It may feel overwhelming, but it all comes together. Definitely attend any workshops offered. Even though I've been doing this for a while, I always attend. I either learn something, remember something. It is just so helpful. Even though I struggle with asking or getting help, make sure you have people to help you during this time. I have a wonderful team of people who check in on me, who bring me lunch and lots of chocolate. My fellow counselors help me out with my students if needed. Administration has also seen the work that goes into testing, and they help where they can, and it's greatly appreciated. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, but you will survive, and remember, you might have been voluntold, but there was a reason you were picked because this is an important role.
Wise words of advice, Cindy. I have to remind myself of that too, especially when things become overwhelming. No wonder you are a counselor. I'm already feeling calm and reassured. Cindy, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your stories.
You are so welcome, and thank you for having me.
And so you probably know this question is coming. We saved the toughest one for last. Cindy Zamora-Failla, what does being an AP coordinator mean to you?
This is the toughest question so far. What does it mean to me? It means that we are able to offer the opportunity to as many students as possible and challenge them wherever we can. I love that we host an AP alumni lunch where we bring students who have taken AP courses or exams, and we have them talk to our current students. And I love to see how AP has helped them. They are able to discuss how the rigorous courses have helped them in college. They also have talked about how they go in with already a year of credit. So it's awesome. AP coordinating, it's not about me, it's about them.
Season 3 of Coordinated is co-authored and co-hosted by Derek Cometa and myself, Rachel McBride. Derek also records, produces, and engineers the show. Our executive producer is Bill Lankenow. Our podcast logo is courtesy of the amazingly talented Amy O. Amy is a rising senior and AP student at Savannah Arts Academy. Our theme song is Good as Gold by Jackie Ray. Jackie is a former AP Music Theory student at Oakton High School.
Thanks also to Edward Biederman, Terry Redican, and all my colleagues in the AP program for their support of the show. It's truly a blessing to have these moments to engage with my favorite people in all of education. And AP coordinators, please do enjoy your summer break. For all you do, you clearly deserve it. And for all you do, you are truly good as gold.
And maybe I just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. I'm good as gold.